Stop buying stuff. Is it as simple as it sounds? Today I want to share with you lessons I've learned in my life from people a lot older than me about the value that they've placed on stuff and how they've been able to stop accumulating things. Hi, I'm Baz. About 13 years ago, I was working for the New Zealand Earthquake Commission. This was in a period of time after the devastating earthquakes of 2010 and 2011 back in New Zealand, where thousands of people were made homeless, hundreds of thousands of homes were damaged, people lost loved ones. I think 185 people all told were killed during those earthquakes, and people lost their businesses. It was my job to assess some of these homes together with a qualified builder. I remember on one particular occasion, one lady that we visited, she was an elderly woman, probably in her early 80s from memory. I sat down with this woman at a small table in her modest little home, and we were discussing the damages and things that had occurred to her home. Now, during that discussion, she told me about a couple of old English dinner sets which had been damaged because of the earthquake. I asked her if she'd made a claim for these dinner sets, as she'd had them for almost 60 years. They'd been gifted to her and her husband as wedding presents. She told me she hadn't made a claim and she wasn't intending to make a claim. I tried to persuade her that she should, because apart from the sentimental value that they held, they were would have been worth several $100s. She went on to tell me how she'd lost her husband 12 months earlier. And she was just really, really relieved that she still had a home to live in. And really, at the end of the day, these dinner sets were only things which she didn't need to replace. My mum had a similar experience during the earthquake. She lost old plates and dinner sets from her china cabinet. I remember asking her if she was going to make a claim or if she had made a claim for those items. And she said no, she wasn't going to. She felt extremely lucky that her and Dad's home had received only minimal damage, superficial damage, which was easily repaired. And she felt that there were many Cantabrians that had lost so much more than her and Dad. She just didn't feel it was important that she made a claim for those dinner sets. So she didn't. I've noticed that over the last few years now, Mum's been she's been slowly giving things away, getting rid of stuff. I must admit, over the years, I've been a bit of a collector of things. During my 40s and 50s, it was old cars. I'd like to say they were classic cars, but some of them were just old cars. And in more recent times, I have been purchasing art and old stuff from auctions and second-hand shops. I love the old stuff, but I've slowly come to realise that now it's time that I started to get rid of some of that stuff, as it's kind of cluttering my life. A lot of the auctions that I went to were deceased estate auctions, and I was kind of saddened at times to see these family photo albums and wedding photo albums come up for auction. So I come to realise that what we may value or our parents value, our kids won't necessarily value. Maybe we each need to have our own experiences before we reach the stage where we stop accumulating stuff. Have you ever felt the need to downsize, and how did you go about doing it? Have you reached that stage in your life where you've stopped accumulating stuff? And what did it feel like for you? I'd love to hear in the comments. Thank you.